Okay guys, you guys asked for it, so we've got an FOV guide for you here today. As you can see, this Arctic Haze is kicking all over the shop. The wild recoil is almost untamable. Why? Well, right now we are on PS5, but we are with 72 FOV, which I believe was the PS4 FOV. So it's super zoomed in, we're turning super fast because of that low FOV, and my Arctic Haze is just kicking all over the shop. The recoil is almost unmanageable. Like people would leave in the comment section on my Arctic Haze videos, PS4 players and Xbox players would be like, well, we can't do that on console. I totally get it. But let's crank this bad boy up all the way up to 105. Wow. We can just see so much more all of a sudden. You can see the gun model. You can see the skyline. Wow, it's like we've just been given extra vision. It really is a wonderful thing. This is a game changer, guys. The high FOV is going to make this game feel so much better to play for you. Now, let's take a look at this wall again. And let's shoot it again. Same gun, same stats. The only difference is the field of view. Field of view, in simple terms, gives you more stability. Think of increasing your field of view, giving you +5 stability for every 5 field of view. The more you can see on the screen, the much easier it is to control the recoil. That is basically the simple gist of it. It's such a big difference. It's like, you know, it's just something that players who haven't experienced this won't be able to understand. I'd always get a lot of comments from players saying that you can't do this on console and that PC has no recoil, and that no recoil also, you know, went to controllers as well on PC. What they didn't realize is controllers on PC work the exact same way as they do on console. The only difference is PC has had access to 105 FOV for years now. And obviously, like I said, more FOV equals more stability and easier recoil control. It's really that simple. Not only that, FOV gives you that sort of illusion of more range because you can see more on your screen, so things might look further away, but really it's just FOV. If I turn my FOV down or turn it up, I'm going to be doing the same damage at the same distances. Now, there are some other differences to FOV. The one thing I wanted to talk about is ADS turn speed. So when you zoom in and you start ADSing, it's much slower when you're at higher FOV because there's more on the screen for you to cover with your analog stick. It just feels slower. So the thing I wanted to really get into people's heads here is max FOV is not necessarily the best. You can turn it down a little bit. I personally have always rocked 100 FOV on PC. With how fast mouse and keyboard players can turn, I felt 105 made me feel a little bit too slow. Yes, my guns are really easy to control at 105, but at 100 they're also very easy to control as well, but you have a slightly quicker turn speed due to less things being on your screen. And also, like I mentioned earlier, it also affects your ADS speed as well. How quickly you can move the reticle around is directly tied into your FOV. So for someone like me who's a slug shotgunner, 105 was just a little bit too slow, a little bit too sluggish, pun intended. It really isn't ideal for making those quick little aim adjustments to hit someone in the head at close range. So basically, if you're a close range player, you really want to consider lowering your FOV, not to 105. Now, once again, I'm at 105. I don't know if it translates very well to the video, but basically it feels slower when you ADS and move around your reticle at 105. Similarly, your overall turn speed is slower. And now, one thing I want to say, if anyone at Bungie is watching this video, can we get some increased sensitivity options for console or for controller? 10 sensitivity at 105 FOV is just not enough. If the sensitivity could go all the way up to 20, for example, then I would say 105 is best for everyone. But the way sensitivity currently works on controller in Destiny 2, 105 is not the best for everyone. Like I said, if you're a close range, close quarters player, you want to consider between 95 and 100 in my opinion. Experiment with them, see what works for you, and you know, find that sweet spot. If you're a sniper, 105 FOV is definitely the way to go because that slow turn speed is not something you need to worry about so much. Again, I'm just showing the hand cannon at 72 FOV. You can see the difference with how brutal that kick is. So this 105 FOV thing, it applies to all weapon types, not just hand cannons. Now we're at 95 FOV. This could be a good middle ground here. You probably feel super fast, and because you're not on PC now, playing at 95 FOV, you're not putting yourself at a disadvantage. So to explain that disadvantage, an M&K player can play at 105 FOV, and because he's on mouse and keyboard, his turn speed is instantaneous. Now that's a big disadvantage to go up against. He can see more than you, he can turn 10 times faster than you, and yeah, I was a bit hesitant to drop all the way down to 95 for that reason. I found 100 to be the middle ground, but I think 95 might be just fine on console because obviously you're no longer playing against PC players. I'd also recommend turning off motion blur, aberration and film grain. You don't really want those on. Just a quick look at my control setup as well. We are rocking 10 sensitivity and Puppeteer. Puppeteer maps your slide to your right analog stick click, which is really nice for sliding and aiming, and obviously that helps a great deal with the chaperone, being able to slide but never letting go of your analog stick to aim. So those are my settings. Also, make sure you turn on 120Hz on Crucible. As long as you have a 120Hz monitor, you will feel the effects of that. One last thing to show you. So I'm in my roaming super right now, and that was in 105 FOV. Now I'm going to turn it down to 72. And it's like changing the camera settings in GTA. Now it's like an over the shoulder. It goes from a nice wide third person angle to an over the shoulder with the 72 FOV. It really is like playing a different game. And I hope this kind of sheds some light on how FOV affects the game. Yes, frames make a huge difference, but I think people have really underestimated the difference that FOV makes to the experience. Frames make everything feel smoother, but when it comes to that recoil and the smoothness of aiming and guns just feeling better to use, FOV has always been the thing that makes a difference, and it's always been the thing that makes Crucible or PC controller gameplay feel so much different to console. Of course, the future is here, boys. That is no longer the case. This is some nice crispy FOV, and yeah, that's basically it. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, don't forget to slap that like button and subscribe, and yeah, nice one.